Good morning and welcome to my Sunday morning 11 o'clock at 11:49 poetry slot. Facebook Live decided to let me down this morning, which was very kind of it. It did a runner on me and I kept trying to go live and it kept telling me that I couldn't broadcast, and I was beginning to think, I wonder what I've done to deserve this. Anyway, finally, I decided, well, I'm just going to make a video and upload it so that I keep my promise as much to myself as to anyone who sweetly tunes in every week. However, and it's quite interesting because I had this conversation with Claire Steele yesterday. When you decide to actually make a video rather than just do it live, a whole set of other criteria come in, not least one's own perfectionism. So I almost had one finished about 2 or 3 minutes ago and just was getting to the end when I moved and my phone on its tripod decided to do a somersault and landed on the floor. So I'm not having the best of mornings when it comes to technology, but I will not quit. So here I go again. I may quit if this one doesn't work, but it blooming well better. So it's been a bit of a good week this week, actually. Lots of exciting things that are being set up with experimenting with how to do things in a virtually socially distanced world like everybody else is, and coming up with some interesting things. And Love Letters to the World, that's my project with Claire Steele. Our project really is going from strength to strength, and we're seeing some wonderful writing coming from people who join us on our creative writing workshops led by Claire on Tuesday evenings. So there's still some places left and the project's going on until September the 15th. So if you'd like to get involved, it's not too late. We'd love to welcome you. And it's really fantastic to see how those fragments of writing which are left in places, under benches, on railings, still speak to how people are feeling out there, and the kind of desire for connectivity, community and compassion and generosity, and some of the very beautiful things that have come out of this horrible virus that we're now living with. It's quite extraordinary, some of the just phenomenal benefits that have come and how we value things so much more that perhaps we took for granted. So part of this week also was an invitation from a radio presenter called Anna Banana. She's also a producer and goodness knows what else on a community radio station called a KHOI in Iowa. And they have a project, well, she has a program called Heart to Heart Messages. And there's a real synergy between her project and Love Letters to the World, and we've sort of been shadowing and following each other over the last few months. And hers involves people actually checking into the radio station and bringing their messages to other people. Very much a response to COVID in the way that Love Letters to the World is a response to COVID from our end. Anyway, I'm beginning to waffle a bit, so I am going to move now to my reading of the poem that Claire has suggested to me today. I really wanted to dedicate this to her. It's such a joy to be working together on this project and working with the writers who join us. So this is for you, Claire. It is a poem that I have to admit, much to my chagrin, I didn't know, but I have actually been loving diving into it over last night and this morning. So I'm really delighted to have been introduced to it by you, Claire, so thank you. And it's by a poet called Carson, and it's from something called The Beauty of the Husband, a fiction in 29 tangos. And Claire's specifically chosen, and I love it, she's specifically chosen tango number 9, which is But What Word Was It? And so I'm going to read that now. But what word was it? Word that overnight showed up on all the walls of my life, inscribed simpliciter, no explanation. What is the power of the unexplained? There he was one day, Newtown, in a hayfield outside my school, standing under a black umbrella in a raw picking wind. I never asked how he got there, a distance of maybe 300 miles. To ask would break some rule. Have you ever read the Homeric hymn to Demeter? Remember how Hades rides out of the daylight on his immortal horses swathed in pandemonium, takes the girl down to a cold room below, while her mother walks the world and damages every living thing. Homer tells it as a story of the crime against the mother, for a daughter's crime is to accept Hades' rules, which she knows she can never explain. And so breezing in, she says to Demeter, "Surely, mother, here is the whole story, for slyly he placed in my hands a pomegranate seed, sweet as honey. Then by force and against my will he made me eat. I tell you this truth, though it grieves me." Made her eat? How? I know a man who had rules against showing pain, against asking why, against wanting to know when I'd see him again. And from my mother emanated a fragrance, fear. And from me, I knew by her face at the table, smell of sweet seed. "Roses in your room, do he send you those?" "Yes." "What's the occasion?" "No occasion." "What's going on with the colour?" "Colour? 10 white, 1 red. What's that mean?" I guess they ran out of white. To abolish seduction is a mother's goal. She will replace it with what is real, products. Demeter's victory over Hades does not consist in her daughter's arrival from down below. It's the world in bloom. Cabbages, lures, lambs, broom, sex, milk, money. These kill death. I still have that 1 red rose dried to powder now. It did not mean hymen, as she thought. So, thank you very much, Claire, for sharing suggesting this beautiful poem, and I'm really thrilled and enchanted by it. So have a lovely week, everyone, and do stay safe. I still think it's really important to remind ourselves to do that. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I just hope that Facebook Live doesn't let me down again next Sunday. Have a great week. Take care, everyone.